keep on marching. And empowered people have to do their part. If you're going to get anything from God, there's something in the process that you have to do, and I have to do. Yes, there was a blind man who came to Jesus, and Jesus put mud and spit on his eyes, but he told the blind man, now you got to go and wash in the pool of Siloam, and then you'll come back seeing. He just didn't expect Jesus to do it all while he sat there. You got to go get your blessing. Not only this blind man, but even, we'll talk about this maybe the Lord's will next Sunday, even Elisha, when Naaman came to him with a disease, leprosy. He told Naaman, I got a plan for your healing. I got a plan for your blessing, but I need you to go dip in the Jordan River. You got to do something. You know, every time you study Jesus, somebody had to put forth an effort. Maybe your brother Lazarus is dead, but you know what? You need to show me where you laid him, and not only show me where you laid him, but you it seemed like the one time you overcome one challenge, you climb one mountain, only to find out there's another mountain waiting on you. Just because you get one victory, you can't call it a day. One victory don't make a successful season. It means just one victory. So if you're walking in your season, you got to win the next game. You got to win the next battle. One battle don't make a war. You can't win one battle and call it a day, because history teaches us the Nazis won some battles, but thank God they didn't win the war. The Confederates won some battle, but we ought to be praising God they didn't win the war. You got to keep fighting, because you catch one battle and can't let you sit down and become at ease in Zion. That's the same thing in a spiritual way. Sometime when God starts blessing us, when it seems like we've got our breakthrough, and the church is growing and life is good and our home life is growing, the same praise that we use to get there, somehow or another it begins to dry up when good times come. But I want you to know that you got to keep on praising God with the same intensity, with the same fervor. But when you're facing that giant, just like you do when the giant, that when you got your blessing, try to help somebody else. And here Rahab, though folk looked down on her, Rahab, though people talked about her, Rahab, though people judged her, and isn't it bad when people give her a title with her name? A label with her name. Come on. It ain't Rahab, it's Rahab the harlot. Come on. That's what the Bible called, Rahab the harlot. But a lot of us don't know. When we talk about Rahab, be careful, because you're talking about Jesus' great-great-great-grandmama. You never know what God can do in somebody's life, how God can turn it around. And some of us in here, we don't like labels, but remember this, man labels you. You are what God says you are. And everybody in here, at one point in our life, we wore some labels that we did that we don't like. But how many of you glad this morning that God is able to pull that old label off and put another label on you? Let me give you some labels. More than a conqueror. Let me give you a label. Child of the King. Let me give you a label. The head and not the tail. Let me give you a label. The lender, not the borrower. Let me give you a label. Great is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Let me give you a label. A chosen generation. A royal priesthood. Baby, you can call me what you want. It don't matter what you call me. I know who I am. And by the grace of God, I am who I am. Walls shut up. Keep marching. Walls in your way. That's what I want you to do is get the priests to take the Ark of the Covenant. That's the power of God. And I want you to be obedient. In other words, you got to do it my way. You got to do it God's way, not Joshua's way, not the pastor's way. But you got to do it God's way as God tells the man of God what to do. He said, Joshua, what I want you to do is I want you to take the priest with the ark and take priests with 7 ram's horns. And I want you to walk around the city one time. I want you to keep marching. I know it doesn't make sense, but keep marching. Don't say a word when you walk around the city, but keep marching.